Hey guys, so this is going to be Reptile Room Overhaul Part 2, and before we really get started with that, I just want to kind of go over a couple things and we'll head down to the Reptile Room and get started. Right now, you might notice my room is pretty much thrown all over the place. I've got my 3 basic necessities set up right now. I've got my bed, I've got my computer, and I've got my gaming setup. But yeah, my room is all torn apart, and you may notice that it was recently painted. But right now, along with the reptile room, my entire house is basically being kind of overhauled, and we're getting a bunch of work done throughout our entire house as well. So basically right now I'm playing the waiting game, where I have to wait for one thing to be done in order to get another thing done, and which is partially the reason why the reptile room is coming so slowly. But right now I'm still waiting to get everything finished in here, then I can finally, move back into my room, kind of actually have a room again, and that will be nice. And oh, another thing I thought I would just throw out there, my phone decided that it didn't want to function anymore, so I don't have a phone. So to all you people that would like randomly get my number on Facebook and just like call me out of the blue, take that. Yeah, that happens. It's weird. Not anymore, it doesn't, because I don't have a phone. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on right now. I am not in school, obviously, summertime. I really haven't been working recently, and I just got back home like yesterday, or 2 days ago, something like that. Yeah, 2 days ago. We were out of the house for like a week while we had some work done, so I didn't do anything productive during that time. But so things are just really crazy, and it's been going on. So I've been passing most of my time either taking care of the animals or just sitting there like gaming. It's like all I've had to do. Because I'm like kind of on call at the house right now, where I have to mostly be at home as much as possible to help with every little stupid need we need me for. And ooh, that's like the biggest daddy long leg I've ever seen. It looks so much bigger in person. Okay, well now that we got that clearly necessary little rant out of the way, back to business. Yeah, so I've just been basically gaming. That's basically all I've been able to do. I've been playing Xbox and Runescape. Yes, I play Runescape. And we are actually, me and a couple of my buddies are actually currently working on potentially making a gaming channel, so kind of heads up for that one. But yeah, if you guys want to play RuneScape or Xbox or whatever, my info or whatever will be down somewhere in the description. So yeah, and sounds like the annoying shower is kind of the cue to us going downstairs and starting Reptile Room Overhaul Part 2. Let's do this. Okay, so here we are in the reptile room, and this is where the cages are going to go, and I'm about to use a word that I've kind of grown to hate over the course of this entire process of redoing the reptile room and working on our house, and that is temporary. That is a dirty, horrible, nasty word. Temporary is driving me crazy, because everything right now is temporary and nothing can be set in stone, and it's really obnoxious because I would really like to just finish things, but right now everything that is being done is just temporary and will be changed pretty soon. So right now anything I'm setting up is basically going to be taken out of the reptile room when I redo the floors, the lighting, the electrical, and paint So every single thing you see in this reptile room is going to have to leave the reptile room eventually. But I do have to set up these cages right now. So I guess we'll get started. So cue the annoying sped up, I don't know, what's it called when you speed up the slow motion? What's it called when it's fast motion? Cue the sped up me. Okay, so got the 2 racks, pedestal, the 2 like 4 by 2 by 1 foot just like single cages, and then the 3 of those actually, check that, and then the 2 townhouse or whatever they were calling them, this one and then this one over here, are the 2 that have 2 cages in one and are split. Okay. Ow. Yeah, squeezing those through the little doorway was a pain in the ass. Alright, so I guess we will just really quick go take a look at what I've got, and then I have to obviously clean them up a little bit. And then we'll just kind of see what happens from there. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to do this. So, and don't mind the screaming, that's just part of being Italian. You have screaming people in your house at all times. Okay, so you've got these 2, which are on top. Let me see. Take this tape off. Okay, now that this tape is stuck to just about everything. So yeah, and then you've got this cage, or I'll just kind of compare the 2 and then we'll take a look at the racks, and then I'll just really clean them up and then show them all stacked together. Okay, so you've got the one that's 2 cages up top, which kind of see how that goes, and then you've got a nice little fluorescent bulb up there, which isn't really necessary, but I just like having my cages lit so I can actually see when I'm using a heat pad rather than a or heat mat underneath. Some of you could probably see me fumbling around with all the wires and stuff with the heat mats, and then again that's just the same thing. So it's 2 separate cages built into one basically, and then these down here, which I ordered with the locks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab the key to open that one, so one sec. Okay, so I got the key, and what I did is I actually got the bigger ones with keyed locks, and the ones with the 2 cages without them just didn't seem necessary when I have. It was more to stabilize the little center section so they can't just like push their way out, but then again it just like it looks weird when there's like that empty spot there. But I like having locked cages anyway, so you can see it's basically the same thing as the Brazilian's cage right there, except this one is a little bit shorter. So yeah, on top of each other like that. And then as far as I know, it should stack about like 6 foot, I think. Yeah, it should stack 6 foot high. And then if I do the Brazilians on top of it too, it will be like 7.5. So I don't know if I have room to do 7.5. I think that would pretty much go to the ceiling here. But yeah, so I guess I'm going to clean up all the cages and then stack them all up, and I will be back. Okay guys, so this is literally like my 10th time filming this little part, so this is going to be the last attempt. If it doesn't work, I don't care, I'm posting it anyway. Okay, so we've got everything basically kind of cleaned up and set up partially. Everything's obviously still kind of a mess and thrown around right now, and I'm probably gonna have to leave the like actual setup room with the animals all in the correct cages for part 3. So sorry, but unless you want like a 45-minute video, it's just gonna kind of have to happen. So right here we've got the 2 41-quart racks. They each hold 4 41-quart tubs. They slide in nice and easily, which is just really convenient, and they have belly heat, and they're just like everything that I think I wanted from racks. And when I originally ordered them, they were going to be more for ball pythons, but then I ended up getting rid of my ball pythons like after I ordered them, and it just kind of didn't work out quite how I wanted to. So these will probably be kind of put on hold to have animals put in them until I have animals to put in them. But yeah, they'll stack on top of each other, nice and nice, well, nice and like flush, and they'll look good. And yeah, so right now, what do I have to do? Obviously, these snakes in this little area, these 2 racks, and then snake in that tub, have to be put in the stack, which I have set up right here. But before I can do that, I have to clean the inside a little bit more thoroughly. And yeah, and then it is possible that I may be putting the Brazilian's cage right here in this stack as well. But in order to do that, I'd have to move the stack over in this area because the height of the stack would interfere with the tracking for the garage door. And the garage door would be able to open, which would be bad. This rack and this cage here both have to magically disappear, so I have to figure that out as well. And then these 2 racks also have to magically find some sort of other place of being, because they're not going to work where they are anymore. So yeah, but it will be nice having like a nice little U shape again where I can actually access all the animals. So yeah, so let's take a look at the stack as is now, and I'll go ahead and I guess turn on the lights for the stack, and we'll take a look at that. So right now the stack has a total of 5 cages, but we'll hold 7, or we'll hold hold 7 animals. And then you've got the little pedestal down below, which I think just looks nice and makes it so I don't have to have a cage on the floor. And sometimes the garage can like have water come in, which is why I usually tend to not have any cages directly on the floor. But I think it's also just nice not to have to like lay down on the ground to get to my cages. So yeah, I mean, you really can't tell the difference between professional cages and cages you build yourself. I mean, something like this, in my opinion at least, I feel like you could probably put in your living room or something and it would look fine. Whereas cages you build yourself, cages of this sort at least, more like the bottom 2 cages there, they tend to be more confined to a reptile room for most people. But yeah, so these are the cages, and there will most likely be 7 snakes in here. People give me a lot of crap about, oh, this is your snake room, not your reptile room. Well, I have a reason for that. Well, first off, I have 3 leopard geckos and a pixie frog in here, so not snake room. And 2, the majority of the lizards that I have, well, the majority of the lizards I've had over the course of my reptile keeping, I tend to usually want to keep in either my room or in the living room or something like that where I can see them all the time. Right now they're more like on this wall where they're all in like glass cages and stuff, but that's kind of, but I come in here for like an hour or so every day anyway, so I mean it's not like I don't see the animals in here. I just would prefer to just be able to like sit down and relax and just like look over and like see. I think I'd rather see the more active animals, which is why the animals that I tend to have in my room, like for example, even the snakes I've had in my room, I had stuff more like the false water cobra, the hognose, and jaguar carpet pythons, stuff like that. And I mean, in the past I've had just other animals in my room that are a little bit more active or just have really cool cages. Just stuff that's a little bit more display worthy, and yeah, so just the more active animals, they usually tend to be the animals that I don't have in the reptile room and have elsewhere, just because I like seeing them all the time. But doesn't mean I like them more than the animals in here. It's just kind of, I don't know, I guess there isn't really a amazing reason. But yeah, so this is the stack, and you got the herpstat up there. It's not really set up. I still have to play with the heating and figure it out. For anybody that's set up anything with heat tape or heat mats or really any sort of thing using a thermostat before, you realize that you have to kind of play with the probes and really establish what temperatures you have to set things at to get the desired temperatures, because it's usually not as easy as just programming it to the temperature you want. You usually have to kind of have there's usually a trial and error period where you have to figure out how high you have to set the thermostat in order to get the actual temperature that you want in the cage. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm gonna have to do before I put animals in the cages. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now, and hope you guys enjoyed this little look into the overhaul of the reptile room, and I will see you guys for hopefully the answers video, which I am working on, and then part 3 should hopefully come in a couple days. So I will see you guys then. Peace.